All right, great. All right, good morning, everyone. It's Chris Whalen, CPA, and welcome to the Street Level Business Podcast. Today, I'm very excited. We have a guest of mine that lives down in Costa Rica. He's a realtor down there, but as well, he's licensed here in the States. His name is Josh Wittman. He's going to go over some of the basics of investing down in Costa Rica in that area. Good morning, Josh. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having me on, Chris.
Certainly. Now, everyone knows, if they know me, they know that I'm heavily into real estate investing, residential and commercial. So, of course, I was excited to be able to get you on the interview today because I have a lot of clients in the U.S. that are looking to possibly go out of the country or the 50 states to invest worldwide. And I thought, what a great opportunity to have an expert on like you. So give us some examples, give us some examples of what's the difference of investing down there than in the U.S., for example. So let's say a U.S. citizen wants to buy a property in Costa Rica, a simple townhouse on the beach. What would be what are the similarities and what are the differences from doing it in the States?
Well, first of all, it's really important to understand that Costa Rica is a developing country. I would say it's really in terms of investment opportunities just getting started. And in that, we are, myself with the two realty boards here, we have Costa Rica Global Association of Realtors, which is directly associated with NAR in the United States, Canada, and globally. And we also have the Costa Rica Cámara Costarricense and the Bienes Raíces, another Costa Rican realty board. And those two boards, along with the realtors and associates of them, we're working diligently in creating an MLS. So right now, there is an MLS that has just begun. I think they started in September of onboarding properties. But if you can imagine, there isn't an MLS that really has historical data for properties here. So it's really important coming here to consider working with a professional that can help you analyze the market. There are very different markets in Costa Rica, as in anywhere, although it's a very small country. We have high tourist destinations. We have high school populations for families. We have financial districts. We have mountain farm land. I mean, we have a very diverse portfolio of types of investments. That being said, there are some really good opportunities that are coming on the line. Costa Rica has put its best foot forward in tourism these last several years, especially in the northernmost region called Guanacaste. We have some of our hottest tourist markets there. And now the ICT or the Tourism Board of Costa Rica is working on bringing online some other parts of the country as well. So if you've heard of Costa Rica, you probably have received some kind of ad or promotion of Costa Rica to go to Tamarindo, or to go check out the hot springs in La Fortuna, or to go see Monteverde with the hanging bridges that walk hundreds of meters over rivers and through the jungles. It's truly an amazing experience. And so from a tourist perspective, it's a really wonderful place to come experience a tropical place, but also in a very secure country, both from a financially investing perspective and from a family perspective. So to offer a little bit about myself, I have 4 children here. I'm a teacher, 15 years, math science. I worked in international school teaching circuit. And in these last 2.5 years, I have changed my career to focus in investment real estate after a couple of years of scratching my head thinking in my 6th grade math classroom, wow, we really need to increase financial literacy. And one of the best ways to do that is to consider investing in real estate. So I kind of took my 6th grade study and turning them into junior realtors into turning myself into one as well. And so over these last 2.5 years, I've focused on making Costa Rica home. That's my primary brand, makecostaricahome.com. And then a branch of that is Buy Hotels Costa Rica. And so one of the questions I get often from customers or families looking, especially in Costa Rica, is how am I going to cash flow my lifestyle? And if you're coming here with $500,000, maybe you just sold your 2-bedroom apartment in Toronto or in New York for $1 million. You can come here with a $500,000 nest egg and purchase a 3 or 4 bedroom house with $250,000, $300,000. And then if you have another portion of that nest egg, you can diversify that. You can look at an investment fund. You can look at fractional ownership. We could even look at some of the markets that aren't so hot right now, but are coming online, and consider, can we buy a vacation rental property, connect you with a property manager, and have that turning a profit to cash flow your lifestyle.
Yeah.
So Costa Rica has made very attractive legislature for inviting foreigners to Costa Rica. So first, you do not need to be a Costa Rican citizen like you do in Canada. You need to be a Canadian citizen to purchase real estate. You can purchase real estate on your with your passport. So coming down here, you can have your pick of the litter. You don't need to jump through any hoops. In fact, if you invest over $150,000, you can apply for an investor residency. And in that aspect, you can have the benefits that come with being a resident in Costa Rica, which is public health care, and among many other benefits, as well as applying for tax benefits depending on the kind of property that you have and the kind of development that you're a part of. So
exactly. And so part of the reason why I wanted to talk to you today is that, with the virus over the past few years, it's really had a tremendous impact on the value of real estate here in the States, not even in urban areas. So we have a lot of people that are looking for investment properties, but they feel they're overpriced. But that's why I'm telling everyone we have to look outside of urban areas, but also look outside the states. So there's a perfect time to, right, exactly. So we're looking at a safe country, great professionals such as yourself. The infrastructure's there, financially, tax-wise, it's there. And so the pricing is great down there. Everything is set. I want people to get comfortable. A lot of people are not comfortable thinking of investing outside the states, but they should eliminate that from their minds. There's plenty of great international destinations. Like me personally, I love Costa Rica, the West Coast especially, because I'm a surfer and a diver. So yeah. I'm always on the West Coast, and there's great surf camps there. So just a little plug. I urge everyone, bring a family, bring your kids down to the West Coast of Costa Rica, stay for a week at a surf camp. There's many of them down there. And it's beautiful, and they get lessons, and there's tropical, like I said, there's rainforest down there. So there's excursions. It's lovely down there, and it's not expensive. So, and also don't forget that the tax code with the investor status is very important to remember. So they've made it very simple and clear and less expensive than other countries to invest from a tax-based perspective, real estate taxes as well. So have you seen though, has there been any virus-related increase in Costa Rican prices at all? Has there been any trend, even a slight uptick?
It's a wonderful question. I'm really glad you asked that, Chris, because so many people come to my office asking, do I need to move quickly on purchasing real estate? And with the exception of one or two markets, the answer really is no. So I promote myself and my agency as a buyer's agency. And the major reason for that is I would estimate probably 85%, 90% of the country is a buyer's market. It's very much the opposite of what's happening in North America right now. Very much the opposite. So people are coming here that have just sold their house and they saw it sell in 2 days with over asking prices. It's quite the opposite here. You have properties that are sitting on the market for years, but they don't have good marketing. There's, like I said, there's no MLS. There also is, it's quite interesting being in the market here because there isn't any kind of certification process necessary to sell real estate here. You could sell your locker, neighbors, roommates, cousins, land without having any understanding of how real estate process actually works. And so in that, it's really easy to make mistakes if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't understand the market, be taken advantage of. So going back to my point, it's really important to find a company or an agent that's savvy in the market, that understands how to assess prices. Because once you find something that you like, you want to move on it. But it's my number one priority to make sure that the customer is being represented to their best interests. And in that regard, timeline is of the essence. So the seller wants to sell, but they're going to try to show their hand as, if you don't want to make this offer, don't. But I typically make a 50% offer to the asking price to start the conversation. That's the letter of intent that I send.
Right. So, just a couple of points. One is, people ask me, Chris, you're so into rental real estate. Are you down on stock market? No, I'm not at all. We just need to really diversify. So I tell people that if you only own stocks and bonds hedging against them, you're really in one bubble. You're really not diverse, even though you think you are. So we just want to have some diversity. Having hard assets like real estate's fantastic. The other thing that's important about real estate, where it's slightly better than the market, the stock market, is that a lot of people don't have pensions any longer for the past 20 or 30 years. And
Right.
so in the late 80s, when I got out of college, my father worked for a big corporation. He came home one day and said, oh, they're not going to grandfather in the younger managers to the pension. And so what I realized is that, well, that's really a tremendous loss of wages. They didn't realize they just lost. So what I realized is, well, how do we replace that? How do we replace $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month pension 25 years from now? Well, because pension income is not subject to FICA or Social Security, so we could have interest, dividends, capital gains aren't either, but rental real estate is not. And so that's why I push people to get a portfolio of rental properties over time, so we can replicate that $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month in net passive income. So it's a pension replacement. So I urge people, as an adjunct to your 401k, your other savings, and also any other investment holdings you have, we're looking, if you're looking for cash flow, the reason why the rental area is better than the stock market is that I never have to sell anything. Right? If I have Google stock worth 10 million when I retire, I have to divest it and pay tax on it. So, but with rental real estate, I never have to. So there are investing in real estate. People are very afraid of it. I have a lot. If I ask a group of real estate agents, 99% of them will say that it's dangerous to invest in rental properties, even though they're selling real estate. So I try to be, for years now, I'm going to do seminars on, well, no, if it's done the right way, as you know, it's tremendous. Right. It has a lot of benefits. So that's all. So that's why I'm talking to you, is that, hey, we have the showing there's rental opportunities all over the world that we can diversify then by country, which is even more diversity. So talking to someone like you, it's great. Your boots on the ground. You're there. You're an expert. You're at the startup of the MLS down there. And so people should take a vacation. Come and go have a trip, but also go and meet with you, learn about the different areas. So that's something that we want to make sure everyone has your information. Is there anything else that you want to tell everybody with regard to that, how it's very safe to invest in Costa Rican real estate? Because that's everyone has nervousness about it in general. So
it's important to consider the type of land you're purchasing. 95% of the coastal region within 200-300 feet of the maritime ocean line is concession property. There's a couple of areas that are exceptions that were grandfathered in, but you can still purchase property within 5 minutes walking of the beach on titled land. And so we don't have an MLS, but we do have a national registry. All of that is backed up through the government. There have never been instances where the government, similar to, unlike Nicaragua, where they claim eminent domain and take especially the foreigner's property. So there isn't any historical risk of purchasing titled land. Again, you need to be savvy with the legal team that you're working with the agent that you're working with, and understanding the market so that you can get a good price for what you're looking for, and somebody doesn't take advantage of your ignorance. But somebody like me as a buyer's agent, that's what I'm building my reputation on, is representing my buyers to the best of their ability. And I work all over the country. I fly 2 hours north and a half an hour south. I work here in my office in the Central Valley, San Jose. I'm 10 minutes from the airport. It's very easy to travel around this country, especially by plane. But if you enjoy driving, the scenic routes are plentiful. And so it's a wonderful place to just visit. but also it's got so much potential, especially right now. Like I said, our markets are just starting to come online from a global perspective, especially after the slowdown of tourism. Now we're seeing a major uptick. From 2019 to now, we had the most productive year in the last decade.
Yeah.
And the trends seem to be continuing to increase because everybody was locked in their rooms for 2 years. Now they want to go and see the world. They saw all these tropical videos on their Instagrams in the middle of winter, and now they're thinking, well, geez, I can travel now. Why don't I? So come to Costa Rica, have an amazing Pura Vida experience. And if you are in the market, reach out. I'd be happy to help you analyze and consider what's available here.
Well, tell everyone all your contact info again, all the websites, nice and slow.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's makecostaricahome.com. That's a call to action. If you're looking to move here with your family, we have a whole concierge package that we can offer you for relocation services and scouting services to get to know the country, get to know neighborhoods, etc. I have a whole team that they have help my customers assess the country. And then if you're looking more in investment properties, we have Buy Hotels Costa Rica, which focuses on Airbnbs, so 2-bedroom, beach condo, all the way up to 50, 100-room hotels and investment properties. So if you're looking for greenfield development or something in a little larger portfolio. I just partnered with my lawyer for the last year and a half. His name is Douglas Soto of the most established law firm in Costa Rica. And in these next couple of weeks, we'll be bringing online our new company called Realtors Signature. And in that company, we'll be focusing seriously on development projects and investment portfolios. So if you're not really interested in purchasing and operating one property, but you do want to have your money start to work for you in Costa Rica, we'll have a fund for you probably by Q2 of next year.
And my last point is that we do a lot of investability analysis here, of all types of properties, small, large, commercial, residential. I want to remind everyone that the most important thing that we need to know from someone like Josh when we do analyze an opportunity for you is, what is the fair market value rent? That is the thing that's going to drive is something worth it to invest in. For the most part, that's the main thing we need. Well, one of the key points. So if you're investing in real estate anywhere, you want to make sure that the agent you're dealing with has a really good handle on what that fair market value rent is and what the potential occupancy is. Because I see the problem: people are running out, they're watching these DIY shows on the weekends, and they're investing in properties, but the rents aren't commensurate with what their hopes are, and it winds up being a money pit. So that's something to remind everybody. We would love to analyze things for you, but no matter where you're working in the States or in Central America with Josh, we have to make sure we have all those kind of facts lined up so we could do a tax and income analysis for you, working with Josh to see if it really makes sense for you or how it can make sense. Right, Josh?
Here's a KPI on that point. I'll comment if you're in one of the high tourist areas. So we're looking at Manuel Antonio and Tamarindo and Greater Tamarindo area. If you have ocean view, or if you are on the beach, then it goes up substantially. But if you have ocean view, we're looking at $1,000 per week per room. So you have a 3-bedroom house on a hill with ocean view in Manuel Antonio, you're looking at about $3,000 a week. And we could find that for probably $500,000. So if you're doing your ROI there, it's probably around 7 to 10%. Now, if we're looking at the market, we'll find something that might be on a fire sale. Gosh, one of my customers just missed an opportunity. The other buyer beat him by 3 days to making this purchase. It was $695,000 home, 5 bedrooms with an incredible ocean view, and it's already booked through high season. So high season here is mid-November through April. I mean, the ROI was around 15% without having to do anything on this property.
And one last thing, tell everyone how seasonal it is or not there. And so we have an oceanfront property. So is there any bad time of year where the rentals decrease or no?
Yeah, so we're looking at week 52. So that's Christmas to New Year's. That's going to be 3 times the rent of low season. Depending, and this is going to be very dependent on where you are. But if we're looking at Manuel Antonio and Greater Tamarindo, which is about an hour and a half stretch of beach, the Greater Tamarindo area, we are looking at probably 6 to 8 month high season. And that's using 2019 standards. We are definitely seeing a tourism trend uptick in the post-pandemic years.
Right.
So that low season window could be shrinking. People want to go to their local beaches in North America and Europe. They don't need to come to the tropics in June through September. And so that's typically when we have a low season. But people come down themselves. We have a lot of snowbirds that come down. But in considering purchasing your first vacation rental, it's really important to consider how are you going to be using it versus how are you going to be renting it out. And so if that equation works for you, that you have a place that you can stay for 2-3 months, and then you rent it out the other 9 months of the year, we have my office has some great contacts for property managers that use right pricing technology to really gauge the fair market value for rent and make sure that you're staying competitive, but also well within your means for your CapEx, especially.
Well, everyone, I'm going to put all of Josh's contact info in the description of the many places that this will be posted. And Josh, I want to thank you so much for your time. I know this is going to lead to a lot more work for both of us, and just expanding people's thoughts about where to invest in real estate. And really, I appreciate you coming on today. It's going to really help all my networks and contacts.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot, Chris.
Have a great day.
Cheers.